Once upon a time, in the heart of Lagos, two inseparable friends lived together in a beautiful duplex. Their names were Inola and Jay, and for over a decade, they had shared a bond that many admired. Their friendship was built on loyalty, pain, healing, and unconditional love. It all began 10 years ago, on a rainy night when Inola was driving home from work. She noticed a young woman lying unconscious by the roadside, bruised, bleeding, and barely alive. Inola's heart pounded as she jumped out of her car, screaming for help. She waved frantically at passers-by, pleaded with Okada riders, and begged shopkeepers to help her. But everyone looked away, unwilling to get involved. So Inola did what no one else would. She carried the woman into her car and rushed her to the nearest hospital. The woman had suffered blunt head trauma and was diagnosed with total memory loss. She couldn't remember her name, her home, or anything about her past. Inola tried everything. She reached out to the police, ran media reports, and circulated her photo, hoping someone would recognize her. But no one came. Not knowing what else to do, Inola brought the stranger into her small apartment and cared for her like family. She gave her clothes, food, and even a name, Ajok, a name Inola had always loved. Over time, Ajok became more than a house guest. She became a sister. Inola taught her how to use a computer, helped her secure a job at the advertising agency where she worked, and eventually, the two moved into a spacious duplex in Lekki. They shared everything: meals, clothes, dreams, and secrets. People often mistook them for sisters, and to Inola, that's exactly what they were. One evening, as they waited by the roadside for a taxi, a luxurious SUV pulled up. The man behind the wheel, Bolaji, offered them a ride. During the trip, his eyes were on Inola. By the time they reached home, he had asked for her number, and later that night, he invited her to dinner. Inola was thrilled but tried to play it cool. As she prepared for the date, Ajok walked into her room to borrow a charger. When Inola told her about the dinner plans, Ajok frowned. "Don't you think it's too fast?" she asked. Inola reassured her it was just a simple date, but Ajok didn't seem convinced. That night, Bolaji took Inola to an elegant restaurant overlooking the Lagos Lagoon. The night was magical, the city lights shimmered on the water, the food was exquisite, and Bolaji's charm was undeniable. They connected deeply, and he didn't try to push boundaries. He simply dropped her off and told her he wanted to see her again. Back home, Inola floated into the house like someone in a dream. "It was perfect," she whispered, grinning. Ajok smiled back but her heart twisted. Why Inola? Why always her? The next day, Ajok listened quietly as Inola chatted and laughed on the phone with Bolaji. Her laughter, once a sound that warmed Ajok's heart, now grated on her nerves. Inside, a toxic brew of envy and rage bubbled. Soon, Inola and Bolaji became inseparable: text, calls, dates, laughter. Ajok watched from behind closed doors, pretending not to care. But the jealousy grew. Then one day, Inola mentioned something casually: Bolaji had extreme cleanliness habits. He once left his house for weeks after spotting a single cockroach, she said, laughing. That was when Ajok's mind began to scheme. Days later, Inola forgot her phone on the kitchen counter. Ajok seized the opportunity. She messaged Bolaji from Inola's phone, asking him to retrieve an urgent document from her bedroom. Then she deleted the message and returned the phone. When Bolaji arrived and stepped into Inola's room, what he saw horrified him. The room was filthy: dirty dishes, used sanitary products, unwashed clothes. He bolted, repulsed. Ajok cleaned up the mess before Inola got home. Later, Inola was radiant: she had been promoted. But her smile faded when she noticed Bolaji hadn't called. She messaged him. No reply. She called. No answer. By the next day, he had blocked her on every platform. Ajok cleaned up the mess before Inola got home. Later, Inola was radiant: she had been promoted. But her smile faded when she noticed Bolaji hadn't called. She messaged him. No reply. She called. No answer. By the next day, he had blocked her on every platform. Inola spiraled into heartbreak, unable to understand why he had disappeared so suddenly. Ajok comforted her, planting seeds of doubt. Maybe he wasn't serious. I warned you, she said, all while hiding the truth. Trying a different angle, she offered to cook for him, making his favorite meal. He thanked her and offered to pay, but she declined, eager to insert herself into his life. Weeks passed. She visited him regularly to cook, hoping to win him over. One rainy night, she stayed over, thinking her chance had finally come. But Bolaji disappeared that night, returning only by dawn. To her shock, when she returned home, Bolaji was sitting in the living room with Inola. Confronted, Ajok broke down, begging for forgiveness. That's when the truth exploded. Ajok wasn't who she claimed to be. Her real name was Biliki Adea. 10 years ago, she had poisoned her sister Toyosi's baby out of jealousy and tried to have Toyosi killed. The hitmen beat Biliki instead, leaving her for dead in Lagos, where Inola found her. Biliki had faked her memory loss to escape justice and infiltrate Inola's life. Bolaji's friend, I, turned out to be the very officer who worked on the unsolved case. When he visited Bolaji's house and recognized Ajok, he informed Bolaji, who quickly confirmed the truth with Inola. The entire web of lies collapsed. The police stormed the house. As Biliki was dragged away in handcuffs, she screamed, I didn't mean to kill the baby. I just wanted Toyosi to suffer. But there was no sympathy left. Inola, shattered, realized she had shared her home, her life, and her heart with a murderer. Bolaji held her hand. She used your kindness, but she didn't win, he said. I should have seen it, Inola whispered. You didn't because your heart is pure, Bolaji replied. You gave love where there was none. In the end, Biliki was sentenced to life in prison. Inola and Bolaji reconnected and married a year later, building a life rooted in honesty and mutual respect.